want to throw by you, Ed?
Sure. Which one?
Well, this crazy idea, and I'm glad you asked for specification, because I was going through your Seven Sisters book.
Yes.
And is it Selune? Selune?
Yeah.
The ghost witch of
yes. Yeah.
What is she up to in your mind?
She is a ghost in the weave.
Mm-hmm.
She can manifest wherever she can find a body. She can take over. There's a moral ethical problem there, which Elminster has also been wrestling with, and I just keep throwing it in front of readers and then snatching it away, throwing it in front of them, snatching it away. And she can manifest wherever she's within about 200 yards of a pebble or flagstone or fragment of her hut, the floor of her hut. So various Harpers have been carrying pieces of this, sort of like, here's a piece of the towel that the Beatles wiped their hands on in Shea Stadium, that sort of thing. And they cut it up into, the Harpers have been carrying bunches of that all over the realms so she can manifest. And what she's been manifesting as is largely advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That works well with an idea I had. Reading through the book, it seems that she is very interested in keeping the Dale lands, and
yes.
free of foreign entanglements, particularly Cormyr.
She wants to stop Cormyr's imperial ambitions because she knows that they will use the pretext of Sembia taking everything over as their excuse to take over first.
I was wondering if using the pebble idea, taking that and putting it into the Dale's council chamber in Asha Benford, where they have their permanent things, that way she could manifest there. Yep. And she acts as a spiritual advisor with emphasis on spirit. Yes. I gotta get a pun in wherever I can. And she's using that as her way to keep her eyes and ears on what's going on in the Dale lands, because one of the comments that you had in here that she's kind of limited because she's stuck at the hut.
Yeah.
However, the Harpers are putting these pebbles, and I was like, well, maybe one of them's had it mortared into the wall in these chambers, so she could now be at least listening in to whenever Cormyr shows up with whatever great plan they have this week that will obviously involve annexing the Dale lands at some point.
Mm-hmm. And
she's there to provide whisper advice if needed.
Yeah. Who says that one of the Harpers can't take one of those pebbles and put it in Cormyr?
Or just carry it around.
Or just,
Now, one of the things I've been doing for the last couple of years is you have a Harper or a local innkeeper or somebody as the quest giver for your party of adventurers in these were one-shots I was running at conventions. Low-level one-shots, usually using the Baron's Blades. But I'm just thinking for any play you want to set up for a RealmsBound adventure, sort of like Adventurers League in the past, you have your quest giver, and the quest giver is a Harper carrying Selune's pebble. So what you have is Selune as the sarcastic commentary from the, in the same way that endless science fiction tropes have used, like White Dwarf, the computer, making sarcastic comments when the crews say one thing and the computer's going, yeah, right. And you have Selune from the pebble going, what you really need to know is don't show your knickers or whatever.
Because there was a quote in today's George Will column in the Washington Post, which struck me as so Selune I could actually hear her voice.
Okay.
He starts off with, Defense Secretary Pete Hegsgrath seems to be a war criminal without a war. And I was like, that is the most Silune thing I've heard this week.
I love it. That is, I mean, okay, you're right. It does sound like Silune. I was just thinking you could set her up for that, and then we could toy with giving hints as to why she can't, at this time, be anything more. Like, can't take over some vegetable, bright young thing's body and start living a new life. In service to Mistra and Azuth.
That sounds more into what you said in this book.
Yeah.
Cares about people.
Yeah.
And she would never do a thing like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, if she was ordered to by her goddess, she would do the, all right. But if the goddess has plans for her that we don't know what they are yet, like, I'm going to need you to come back, at some point in the future.
Right.
Mr. Door 4.0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In the same way that you can argue that the Srinshi has unfinished business. When she comes back, it's going to be because Larlock's back and she's whooping his ass. And which, by the way, just to spoiler something, that's what happens here. Okay? Larlock tries to come back. And it's what's going on. That's what he's trying to do all the way through here. And the Srinshi appears out of nowhere and says, "Not so fast, buddy." And so you see what I mean? There could be a future mission for Silune on the part of Mistra that Mistra has told Silune about, but we, the reader, are not being told anything about at all yet, which just means, okay, Silune has to stay in this role as the advising ghost, not going anywhere, so if, and then we just put a line or two in somewhere. So if somebody says, "Oh, well, why don't we just have Silune take over this guy or that guy at the Dales Council, force a vote, get her own way?" No. Yeah. You see the argument that doesn't fit the character cuts no ice with most dungeon masters. They are used to the Marvel Comics bad writing thing, which is you take an established character and you completely change the way they act for my story I have to tell in these two issues. So the Mandalorian stops being the Mandalorian, Grogu stops being Grogu, and Vader stops being like Vader for 2 issues, so I can tell the story I want to. No, and lots of DMs fall into that trap. So we have to sort of, just with a line, say, no. There's stuff going on here. Silune cannot move out of this role for whatever reason. And we don't say what the reason is. We just, because if you say something like ethically she never would, that means nothing to most dungeon masters.
It also defeats her goals in life.
Yeah.
Her goal is to create a vibrant, healthy, safe Dales that is willing to accept wizardry and magic as a way to help people, as opposed to, I believe you used the term, bludgeon them.
Yes, true. But then again, look at the difference between Kelvin and Elminster. One of them is a end justifies the means guy. I will bully you into doing everything. And unfortunately, a substantial amount of the American public has grown up watching James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise break every fucking rule in the book to get his own way right now, here and now, whatever the right here and now argument is. So they almost see that as the right thing for the hero to do because the end justifies the means. Whereas the other way is, if we stoop to doing it that way, then we have become the enemy that we are trying to defeat. And that is a much more mature argument, but it's also a longer argument. And unfortunately, we have a generation or two of Americans, thanks also to Sesame Street, which shortened attention spans to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We want it now.
Right.
I've heard a anti-Sesame Street screed. Quite a while. Damn you, Sesame Street.
Yes, damn you, Sesame Street. That's okay. I was still recovering from Mr. Rogers. So Trolley, has anyone touched you inappropriately? Tell me where.
Oh my God.
Canadian comedians are vicious when they satirize. Vicious.
Like Sean Collins is one of those that's vicious. I like him.
Oh man. So I was just thinking about it with the Seven Sisters. If we went route, it'd be kind of interesting to have three of the sisters as part of one of their many schemes. They have Dove controlling has established the Wardens of the Standing Stone to act as kind of a ranger martial force.
Dove still as a voice of the weave, also quote dead.
Yep, she can only appear certain places, and one of the places we're going to have her appear is at the Mended Standing Stone.
Hey, Eric, what about? I just thought about this, and believe me, it's okay if you say, "Ugh, that's stupid." Is if we take one of those pebbles and embed it at the base of that tree that on the standing stone, that carving, so that Sulune can hear.
Oh yeah,
it's here. Yeah, okay.
Oh, they would totally have done that.
And she could be sitting in the tree overhead, and then somebody looks up and says, "Oh my God, no knickers!"
I thought that was Dove who's like floating around on her. But so Dove has her wardens. Storm has her harpers, who are spies and rogues, and then Selune decided to go the political route and is trying to be the counselor behind the throne, to guide the Dale lands in the directions that she thinks they need to go, because she is the one who is like the most far-sighted out of all of them, at least according to what I was reading out of this book. And so she was thinking about, she wants to see if she can help guide the Dale lands where she wants to go. So that was there, three of them working in concert, but you playing to their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I was going, what is going on?
And I like that, because I know that one of the things that WotC recently has been uneasy about is the overpowered NPCs in the realms take away agency from your characters. But if you leave these three Seven Sisters as guiding voices that don't have a physical presence, then that means that takes that argument off the table for them. You know, you're leaving it with the player characters, because they can't bitch about Quest Giver, because they've been doing that since the dawn of D&D.
I always thought they were quest givers.
Yeah.
Well, I've always used them.
Yeah, me too.
But they didn't even know they were dealing with one of the Seven Sisters.
Yeah, that is one of the.
I'll be right back.
Yep, that is one of the bad things about the few bad things about the novel line. The tendency of the editors and of certain writers, cough Bob, cough Troy, going straight to the gods all the time. So gods are on stage, gods are giving missions, gods are, and it's like, no. Give me over the shoulders of a nobody or low level character or a middling level character who succeeds by their skills, say Artemis or some, Regis, people like that level, then that works. But unfortunately, we've had far too many gods on stage, arms race, rush to the top. So everybody expects the Chosen and everybody else to be running around like superheroes in spandex. Ooh, now you have a doggy coming in.
A new biscuit is here.
Yeah.
Probably flop down under the desk.
Okay.
All the animals have to come down and check on me.
Of course.
Well, yes, because you're in one place and you're not with them. You're talking to that inanimate screen on the desk again. What's wrong with you?
Okay. Well, are you guys ready to start?
Are we doing a public one too?
Yeah.
God, this was so fun. It was like let's do another one of these.
Well,
Okay.
put it this way: I just want to do the introduction, then we can do whatever the hell we want to do after that. But
Okay.
which is pretty much what we do anyway.
Okay. Let me just say before we go live and do all that stuff, and before we get to the bit that you're going to share with the public, I agree with everything that Eric has mentioned so far. Yes. Let's do it.
Okay, there you go. Welcome back, Eric and Ed, to our Mages and Pages podcast, Mages and Sages podcast. We'll get it right here in a second. I know where I am. Let me see. Where's my wallet? Who am I? And what we're going to be talking about today is RealmsBound. Dum dum dum. We need RealmsBound.
We need some sound effects.
That's
Which
right.
is not a bondage thing.
It's not a bondage thing. That's right. And it's not tape. And it's not a rope company. Although there is a whip mistress in part that I did, so that's okay. But we're going to be talking about RealmsBound today because we made an announcement last week that with Ed's wonderful voiceover voice that we did, and we talked about what's coming up in the future. And we have Eric Menge right here.
Hello.
And he's been with us before, and he came over from the Moonshay Isles doing the Adventures League?
Adventurers League.
Yes, and his company Mythmakers is diving headfirst into fleshing out the Dale lands instead of way over there on the Sword Coast. We'll let WotC play in that sandbox for a while, but we're going to delve into the Dale lands. And of course, we have Ed. We know who Ed is. He's the old man that unfortunately I gave food to one day, and he won't go away. And
Jeff, would you like to buy a pencil?
That's right. So he's the creator of the last 30 years of destroying my life. And I mean that sincerely with lots of love. So let's just kind of get into it. Eric, tell us what is RealmsBound?
RealmsBound is going to be a series of products put out over the next several years that are going to be a gloriously deep dive into various regions of the Forgotten Realms. This all I was inspired to do this by a offhand comment Ed made that he was not done carpet bombing the realms. It's like, you're right. We have so much we can do here. There's so many stories to be told that I would like to get all of the old sages together, all the new voices, as many people as possible, to work together and to create a fantastic community product that would be of use to dungeon masters and players alike. And it would be like to present one region of the realms. In this case, we decided upon Dale lands, but it won't be limited to that. So we'll be starting to move around the realms with every year. And that way the DMs can have a lot of different products for different types of regions that they can, if they're playing in the Forgotten Realms, great. If they're not, use it for parts for your home campaign, which is how I used the Forgotten Realms when I got the old gray box. I took that apart and plugged it in all over the place, and it was fantastic.
And we have a lot of people, familiar faces that are joined into this carpet bombing that we're going to be doing as well alongside Ed. Eric's got to be. Who else? Tom Costa, Stephen Shind, and everybody's favorite Brian James, who did the Grand History of the Realms. He's deep involved in this as well.
We have a full list up on our RealmsBound.com.
Yes, RealmsBound.com. I just hit a few of the names that I know that people are familiar with, but there's some here that are.
Yes. I need to get his bio out of him.
Who's that, Stephen?
Brian.
Brian, yes.
our Cormier expert.
Brian Cortillo, that's right, our Cormier expert.
And there's myself for what little that counts, but it's because I'm all Moonshays, and that's not really helping with this particular project since it's all Dale lands.
But it's Forgotten Realms, and it's an area of the Forgotten Realms that pretty much most, even WotC and Hasbro and even TSR said, that's a great island over there. Let's worry about the Sword Coast. So
that was they went on the Sword Coast now for most of the 2014 iteration.
Yeah.
And we actually have been playing around with this idea for several years, and so it was kind of, well, I guess it was on to something, because when they came out with the 2 new books, so Adventures in Faerun for the Dungeon Masters, they picked 5 regions. And I find it amusing that I was neck deep in 2 of the regions, the Moonshays and then the Dalelands, which we had already selected as where we wanted to start with this because of so many iconic stories there. The fact that a lot of the old adventures were centered there. It was a home for Elminster, a lot of the Seven Sisters, the Zentarum, the Harpers. And also, I was trying to figure out when would be a good time to set this, because I was guessing what time, because I wanted to put a date on it. I said, oh, this Year of the Shining Mythal sounds pretty good. Has a nice ring to it, 1501. And then when the books came out from WotC, what year did they pick? 15. I was like, great minds think alike.
They do.
So we're going to be building on that one. And one of the things, since they did a high-level gloss of the realms, which was very needed, and they did a great job with it. I am very impressed with the work they did. But it's a very high level, kind of like the campaign guides that we had for every earlier edition. And because of page count constraints, they can't go into the depth that we wanted to go. For example, they have like maybe 3 NPCs named in any particular town in the Dalelands. I wanted to have a lot more, like who is the tavern keeper, who is the shopkeeper, who is the head of the military in town, who's the local priest, which god does the local priest worship. These are they did as much, they went as deep as they could with the word count they had, but because they're going to focus on one book, one region, we can go much deeper. And that way we give DMs a whole lot more tools to work with.
Yeah, I know that the one section I worked on, I think I put like a dozen NPCs. So
my feedback has been when you're in the town, it's like, who's the face in this location? Who the player's going to talk to? It's not going to be the barrel. If it's a shop, I need to know who the shopkeeper is.
That's right. Because you know the players are going to do exactly what you don't want them to do, and they're going to go, oh, you see over here, you see the dry goods store over here, you see the fish market over here, you see the smithy, and over here they're going to go, but what's that little one over there? I want to go to that one. And you're like,
okay, so let's recap. So for each, we start with the Dalelands. And for each location, there are 4 books coming out from DM's Guild, right?
Correct.
And the first one's a general overview of whatever the region is, Dalelands. Second one is Insights of the Dalelands.
Insights. It's my pun.
INN.
Insights. 2 words, folks. And then the third one is?
The third one is the Delves of the Dalelands.
Ooh,
that is what dungeons can you put your players through? Famous ruins, we're going to use all the unusual magical locations. So like anything from Myth Draenor in the Dalelands to there's some talk about covering a cloud giant castle floating over top the Dalelands, possibly even going down to the Drow city that's underneath of the Dalelands that would be covered. May I also touch on Tethiamar? Possibly.
Don't forget the Temple in the Sky.
The Temple in the Sky, that's right.
And the nearby Flaming Tower.
Yes.
That's
tower.
Right.
Yes.
I already filled the Flaming Tower with people. So.
Oh, flames! I hope. Oh, okay. So and then the 4th book is
Adventures in the Dalelands, and that is the anthology. This is where we're going to have individual adventures, probably about 12 of them. Then in addition to that one, we're going to have a whole segment of dealing with, like, you remember the old Book of Layers that had the two beds, which they kind of mimicked somewhat in the Adventures in Faerun with their one-page spreads. We were going to do, so it's, instead of an adventure, this is an encounter, and it's going to be a quick little 1 hour, 2 hour event that DMs can slide into anything. And my favorite of random encounters, because I love me random encounters. It also has like a whole lot of new monsters, new treasures. And those are the 3 parts of Adventures in the Dalelands.
Excellent. I'll finally get to see some peddlers. Okay, so
the insights.
That's right.
So these will come out quarterly from DM's Guild, and will they be print on demand?
We are working on that. Our intention is yes.
Okay.
The DM's Guild has hoops you have to go through, and we're currently hooping.
Right. Yep, I understand. But in theory, should we not be able to do it at the beginning, if they become like runaway bestsellers, so that the New York Times is thinking of listing us, they will probably make them POD, or if we shove them together into collections later on, they could be POD or something.
Oh, because of the size of some of these, I don't know if we're going to be able to push them together.
Well, in that case, we just need to make sure we have our own bindery, then we can go hardcover and have little ribbon bookmarks, gilded edges to the pages, and then a subscription Kickstarter to buy your own wooden bookshelf that will take the weight of these suckers.
Did we talk about this? We talked about this one time, Ed.
Look at you can help with that. But for the interim, our intent is to have them POD on from day one. We got Lori, who is our layout editor, had to apply to become a approved layout editor before they would even do it, and we are in discussions with One Bookshelf now to have them launched as POD.
Excellent.
We're going to want to see what we're doing ahead of time, as part of the hoops.
And frankly, I don't know about you, but I am fine with a few weeks of delay to get a hoop jump through,
right?
So that we can all have like lovely books on our shelves, because I look behind me and I see all of these various editions of Realms books with their gleaming spines marching along the shelves. And it's like, yeah, it's about time we got some Realms books on those shelves.
Yeah,
I agree, which is why we're doing this. And
yeah.
Lori has already got the cover all laid out, and it's going to be beautiful.
Right.
She has done a fantastic job with the trade dress, which is part. You have to abide by DM's Guild restrictions on what you can put on your cover, and so you have to make sure we're all clear on that one, because they have certain restrictions that we have to do.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's and down the road, I would hope, I would dearly, fondly love if this thing was so successful that it's like, why don't we do a map pack so that people don't have to tear apart their books, sort of thing. That sort of thing down the road, ancillaries. And if somebody goes, well, you covered the Dalelands, but you didn't do this or that, or there was this one line reference that is my favorite, and you can go, hey, we can do an extra product and go back there.
We could do DLC effectively. That was one of our discussions we were having late last month, which was if we wanted to do a player's guide. Well, and that we ultimately decided that this would actually be really good as a DLC. That if we hit a certain number of sales, that we would also put a player's guide together for the Dalelands, which would be something you could print out as a DM at home and just hand to your players of like, you want to know about the Dalelands? Here's everything. It would be written in voice, in character. You didn't have to worry about spoiling any secrets that you might have.
Brilliant.
And so that was one of the ways we were hoping to leverage that, because that's one advantage we have with DM's Guild. We can add to it.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back into the same, like the same product, if you bought the guide and then we add something to it, you would just get a notice saying updated. Hey,
Yeah.
load the new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did with the guides I did. I just go in and I'd update them. They would get a notice and to download the extra content. Yeah.
That's lovely. And okay, so do you want a hint at where we might go after the Dale Lands, or are we going to wait to make the Dale Lands shake the world before we make that decision?
The work who stole